think we're a minute or two past. Let's just go ahead and get started, guys. I'll start off by introducing myself. I'm Greg Robinson with Datagate, and I'm your host for today's event. I'll be doing the introduction and then answering the Q&A at the end. On our panel today, we've got some really great folks who know their products and their industry better than anybody, from Datagate and also from the good folks at ConnectBooster. We're also covering all of North America. We have people on this call on our team all the way from Vancouver to Fargo, North Dakota to Jacksonville, Florida. So we're spanning quite a big area. A little bit of housekeeping. Everybody is on mute. You guys probably already know that. There is the questions box on the right side. Please type in your questions through the event and we will address them at the end. The session is also being recorded. So shortly after the session is over today, you will get an email with the link and you can share the recording with the rest of your team and your company. So we're looking forward to getting that out to you fairly quickly. So with that, let me go on to the next screen. And here's our agenda for the day. We do have 45 minutes. Our goal is to be well within that window and have plenty of time for Q&A. So we've already done the welcome. I'm going to do a bit of a company introduction. It's going to be followed by a real high-level overview from Datagate and our folks at ConnectBooster, talking about our products, how we integrate, how we work with ConnectWise, another one of our strategic partners here. And after that, we're going to go into a real live demo with real live data and walk you through the entire system, showing even how a new invoice goes to AR, and follow it up with some questions and answer. The goal here today, we're sort of thinking a new way of looking at it. This is going all the way from your call all the way to getting paid. So it's like a call to cash type of model to make it easy for you guys and make it efficient and quick. The team today from Datagate is myself, Greg Robinson. I'm the sales specialist. I will be the one talking with you when you follow up later. Mark Loveys, our CEO, also in Vancouver, British Columbia, will be presenting in a moment. And Usman Zohor, he's our technical sales specialist who will actually be doing the demo. With this, Mark, let me hand it over to you.
Thank you, Greg, and thanks everyone for joining us today. It's great to be here with you all, and great to have Ryan Goodman and Colton Schumacher from ConnectBooster with us. And it's great to have a partner like ConnectBooster that has the same sort of objectives and values as us, and that is it's all about making telecom billing and taxes and collecting money and recurring revenue as easy, painless, and profitable as possible. So how we do that at Datagate, we enable you to work with any provider that you want to work with. So that enables you to pick and choose the best deals, the best products and services. We enable all the pricing plans that are common in the telecom industry, right through from fixed price plans to call rating, international calls, toll-free, buckets of minutes, overages, etc. So you can bill like a big telco. In terms of integrations, we like to integrate with the products that are important to MSPs in your industry. So we integrate with ConnectWise Manage, obviously ConnectBooster as well, QuickBooks and Xero. So these are products that are important to our clients, MSPs, and we also simplify the taxes. So obviously selling telecom services in America can be complex in terms of tax, and we like to make it simple and easy for our clients. So we work with the best tax partners. We're very careful to only work with the best. We choose the best products, the best tax engines, best partners to make it easy for you to sell telecom services without worrying about the taxes. So partnerships are very important to us, and Datagate is designed to work well with partner products. So we have this diagram on the screen now showing how we integrate with other systems from a 30,000-foot view. It starts off in the top left corner with your telecom provider. We receive all the call detail records into Datagate throughout the month, and we check and validate those. And then when it comes to time for you to generate your telecom invoices, there's a few clicks of the mouse button to do that, and the process will involve passing the invoices over to a first-class telecom tax engine, which works out all the taxes, adds them to the invoice, and also passes the information on to our tax partner, who can file the tax returns for you and take care of all the complexity of telecom taxes. So in terms of the Datagate, again, we are back with once we've got the invoices back with all the taxes added, we are able to now preview those invoices and then send them out to customers. So they go to the customers as a PDF attached to an email. and it will show you shortly with ConnectBooster. We introduce another option with ConnectBooster where we can send the invoices through ConnectBooster itself, along with your ConnectWise invoices or other invoices, so that it can all go out in one batch. So once you've sent the invoices to your customers, you can then send them through to ConnectWise Manage, where they are then visible to any of your staff that are using ConnectWise Manage, and also visible to external products like ConnectBooster that can then see those invoices inside ConnectWise, and also those invoices get passed through from ConnectWise to QuickBooks or Xero. Again, that's where ConnectBooster can see them, and ConnectBooster can enable the very quick and efficient collection of payments, which is what it's all about. So we have another diagram here that shows the alternative method for sending out invoices that can be done through ConnectBooster. So ConnectBooster gives you 100% visibility of your Datagate invoice in the original PDF format, and enables you to very quickly, efficiently, and automatically collect money from your customers, via ACH or credit cards, etc. So we've got the experts with us today to talk about ConnectBooster and what it adds to the equation. So I think I should now hand over to Ryan Goodman, who's the president of ConnectBooster. To talk about the ConnectBooster part of the equation.
Well, thanks, guys, and appreciate you working through the technical difficulties here. I mean, this screen isn't that exciting. You're seeing my ugly mug, Ryan Goodman, president of ConnectBooster, and we got Colton Schumacher here on the call as well, who's going to give you a live demo from the ConnectBooster side. And so, again, thanks for attending, and I am just really, really excited about this integration with Datagate and how we all work together to help our mutual partners, and how this integrates to ConnectWise Manage to integrate to the tools that we all use to be successful inside of our respective businesses, right? And so a little story, I had met these guys when we were down at the ConnectWise event meeting. I think that was a couple weeks after the IT Nation event at the end of 2019. And we were across the room, and I was like, I want to see what these guys do. They're like a billing engine for telecom. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys solve what is one of the largest barriers for partners in selling telco services. Whether that be PBX or whether that be VoIP, which is dealing with not only the billing and making sure that billing format is correct, but then dealing with all the taxes and the tax regulations. And this is an excellent stream of recurring revenue that I feel like had a barrier of entry, at least for sure in my mind, prior to understanding what Datagate does. And so, where I really saw ourselves aligned was these guys were removing barriers from generating recurring revenue and sending out appropriate invoices and dealing with the taxes. ConnectBooster is all about removing barriers that oftentimes as small to medium-sized businesses we're even unknowingly placing in front of our customers to give us money. And that goes along with the theme of, guys, it's hard enough, we know, to get in the door to make a sale and get the deal, but once that's done, it shouldn't be hard to take the money. And so what we do in our integration here, you guys saw an overview of it, but as those Datagate invoices are created and they're passed over to the PSA tool and passed over to accounting, ConnectBooster picks them up and allows automated actions. One of the most important automated actions is automatic payments for those recurring service type invoices, right? I meet with a lot of partners that tell me they have recurring revenue. And when I really sit down and talk to them, they're really good at sending recurring invoices. They're not so good at bringing in the cash automatically month after month after month without any human intervention. And that's what ConnectBooster is all about. Datagate's taking care of the invoicing side of the complex telco and making that super simple. ConnectBooster is automating invoicing and automating the collection against those invoices to make sure cash is coming into your business automatically, month after month, absolutely predictably. We know cash flow is absolutely vital and is the lifeblood of our business, and ConnectBooster time and time again has helped partners do that. And we do that through our integrations, right? So payments are coming in automatically. We work with the tools that you guys use to make your MSP and IT service providers successful. So there's no change in process to your day-to-day business interactions. We're filling the gaps where automation doesn't exist today. One of the ways that we help drive engagement is through a client portal. You know, we talk about auto pay, and you know, auto pay is the act of withdrawing money automatically from an account or credit card for a recurring service bill. Well, you know, a lot of people say, well, that's my clients are never going to do that. And that's because you're not giving them control and visibility and transparency. And ConnectBooster, through its automation, also has a client portal that integrates seamlessly through single sign-on on ConnectWise Manage. So now your clients have a single pane of glass for all of their invoicing, all of their ticketing, all of their viewing configuration, everything related to Datagate and their telco billing, and everything related to payments. A single pane of glass through that ConnectWise Manage portal and our single sign-on integration with the ConnectWise Manage portal and the integration into Datagate. And we're giving them the visibility, we're giving them the control, which is going to help you execute an auto pay strategy. In fact, your clients are probably going to have more control than any other vendor that they work with when it comes to payments. And all of this is wrapped up in security. You know, it's nice to be able to have access to payment data, but it's also really important to make sure that that payment data is being held PCI compliantly and securely and safely. And ConnectBooster allows you to do that, where you're maintaining control, you're giving that client control, but you're also doing it in a safe manner. And so I'm really excited for the next section, because, you know, it's one thing to talk about it, it's a whole other thing to see it live. And I'm going to hand this over to Usman to give you guys a view from the Datagate side of the house, and then he's actually going to transition over to Colton to see how this flows into ConnectBooster and talk a little bit about AutoPay. So looking forward to really blowing your socks off and showing you guys that call to cash process coming up right now.
Thanks, Ryan. Hey, everybody. So we're just going to switch over to the live demo. Just bear with me for a second here. All right, awesome. So welcome to the dashboard of the Datagate platform. I'll start by taking you on a quick run through of the invoicing process in Datagate and show you how it's really simple and straightforward. First, let's head on over to invoicing over here. Now, here we can select our to date. Let's do the billing for the month of July, and let's set the to date as July the 31st. Now, what the system will do is it'll pull up any invoices that haven't been generated for your customers up until this to date. As you can see, the system's pulled up all these possible customers that we can invoice, and they've all got period start and period end dates that cover the month of July. Now, at this point, you simply just select all your customers, hit generate. You can set an invoice date. You can also select invoice due date. Now, within the customers, we've already configured their due dates individually, and you can do that as well. At this point, it would just be as simple as hitting generate. What the system will do is the engine will run, and it'll start generating all your invoices. For the sake of simplicity, we've already generated a bunch of invoices, and let's switch over to that screen now. So once the invoices are generated, you're automatically switched to the Action Invoices tab with the newly generated invoices right up at the top. Now, since we'll be using ConnectBooster to actually send out the invoices to our customers, in Datagate, what we can do is we can mark them as sent manually. So what we can do is we can, again, select all of our customers. Datagate is really designed to perform as many actions in a batch or bulk fashion as possible to save you lots of time. So again, we can select all of our customers over here, head over to the Actions tab, and mark them as sent manually, because again, we're going to be using ConnectBoosters to send them out. Let's switch over to the tab where I've already done that again. And as you can see, these invoices have been labeled as sent manually, because again, we're going to be using ConnectBooster to send them out. At this point, the next logical step is to export these invoices out to your various systems. So again, you can select all of those invoices, head over to the Actions tab over here, and click Export Invoices. Now, with Datagate, as Mark mentioned, we've got a variety of crucial integrations that make the lives of our MSP customers a lot easier. And as you can see, there's a variety of different exports that you can perform here. You can export them out to ConnectWise or QuickBooks, whatever is necessary. Now, let's actually take a look at an invoice at a customer in Datagate and see what this invoice looks like in Datagate. So I've switched over to this customer that we've got set up in the Datagate system, big design, and let's take a look at this invoice DG-1205 and see what it looks like. Now you can quickly, in Datagate, you can quickly hit this eye icon over here, and it'll open up the invoice in a new tab for you to take a preview of it. And you can do this at the generated state as well. So before you send out your invoices, if you want to make sure everything looks right, that's not a problem. Now, this invoice was automatically generated through Datagate and is in the popular traditional telecom style format. Datagate invoices are completely white labeled, and our implementation team can actually configure them to be highly specific to you. In this scenario, you see Datagate branding and this specific layout here. We've got some products and services that are being charged, as well as some usage. And finally, here we have all the correct telecom taxes calculated accurately and automatically by the tax engine. So again, this nice looking invoice looks great here. We've already exported this invoice out to ConnectWise and QuickBooks, and let's take a look at what this invoice looks like there. So switching over to ConnectWise now, as you can see here, we've got the invoice DG-1205 for the customer, big design right over here. Now notice that the actual balance is correct, $288.11. But let's open up the invoice and take a look. Give it a second here. Try to print this out. Perfect. Took a second, but we've got it now. So when Datagate invoices are exported to ConnectWise, unfortunately, the original telecom formatted Datagate PDF is lost. Instead, ConnectWise summarizes the charges in a traditional ConnectWise layout, which some of you might be familiar with here. Now, this is great because it does have the correct balance. It's got the correct data, but unfortunately, again, the Datagate PDF is lost. Let's take a look at what this invoice looks like in QuickBooks now. Again, switching over to QuickBooks, we have got DG-1205 for the customer, big design right over here. Again, balance is correct, $288.11. Open this up. And let's preview this invoice in QuickBooks now. So again, similar to ConnectWise, while QuickBooks retains the correct data regarding the invoice, such as the balance, it does not show the original Datagate PDF. Now, I'll hand it over to Colton at this point from ConnectBooster to show you how ConnectBooster really comes in here and saves the day in this scenario.
Hey, thanks, Usman. Colton here again, product manager at ConnectBooster. Super excited to show you folks how this all ties together inside of the ConnectBooster interface. But what I want to do real quick is just refresh the screen and make sure we're still actively logged in. And so on the screen that we're looking at here is really the behind the scenes for the partner. We call it the partner overview screen or the partner dashboard. And it's intended to give you a real quick snapshot of, say, any aging AR that you might have. So we'll list out the top 10 customers that owe you money. On the bottom right corner, we have a payments calendar. So that's a nice handy way to see kind of your cash flow, what payments are coming up, what might be set for auto pay, or what might be manually scheduled for a future date. But where I want to focus is that Big Design Inc. company. So we'll go ahead and select that customer. And from this perspective, it's really the management panel for Big Design Inc. So from this screen, we can give a client access into their side of the portal. We can, of course, view any open invoices that might be on the account. There'll be transactional type history. So if there was any payments in your accounting system, we're going to show that here on this side of the portal as well. And then, of course, you'll be able to add a bank account or credit card on file for the customer or enroll them to automatic payment. But where I want to focus is showing that invoice that Usman just showed us here for that $288.11. So it doesn't give you a whole lot of info right here. We want to actually see all the bits and pieces before, say, we made a payment for this invoice. We want to make sure we have the right one. So we'll click more, and in the bottom left corner, once we click view, we'll do a live call. We'll go and fetch that invoice straight from Datagate, and as you can see, it's the exact same copy of that telco format with all the important bits and pieces, the taxes and so forth. So same copy. Now, what does that mean when, say, you have an invoice that doesn't originate out of maybe Datagate? What if we have an invoice that just comes out of my accounting system? Or if we're hooked into, say, a CRM PSA tool like ConnectWise, what if we want to see those invoices? Well, that's where the one-stop shop billing really comes into play with ConnectBooster. We'll go pick this invoice number 49, and once we click view, we should get the exact copy from ConnectWise that we're so familiar with. So it would be the standard type of template. Now, if you have customizations with your standard ConnectWise template, we'll show those as well. So it's going to be that PDF copy, nice and handy, ready to print out at your will. So that's how you would view the invoices. So that's your single pane of glass. But what if we wanted to just make a payment? And we'll say we'll pick that ConnectWise invoice. And I have a few credit cards and bank accounts on file already. But instead of maybe paying the whole thing, this client says they called me up on the phone and really they only wanted to pay $100 on their MasterCard. They weren't quite ready to pay the whole thing. Well, no worries. On their behalf, we're going to go in and we'll go and submit that payment in real time. We'll give it a brief second here. Now that payment receipt automatically went out to the client. I can get a copy if I like as well. But really where some of the true automation comes in from just an from just a manual payment standpoint, is that we're going to take that payment record and automatically apply it to the invoice in QuickBooks Online, or Xero, or whatever your accounting system that you have integrated with. We'll go and manually reconcile that for you, so you're not doing that redundant task from an accounting standpoint. Now, that's great how you take a manual payment, but the point of ConnectBooster, one of the shining reasons is how do we collect money in an automatic fashion? Well, I want to show you just how easy it is to execute on collecting on that recurring revenue that we've been talking about. So on the left-hand side, we'll go down to the autopay section. And what we want to do is generate an autopay condition, or an autopay rule is another way I would call it. And this client has given permission to say, hey, autopay all my Datagate invoices, or my telecommunication invoices, with my bank account on file. So we'll do exactly that. We're going to pick the bank account, and we're actually going to select term as the determining factor on what type of invoice we want to autopay. So what that means is over here, we're going to say any invoice that has the term AP Datagate, which is a manually selected added term into our QuickBooks Online environment. We're going to select it and then hit save. So what will happen is any invoice that comes from Datagate will automatically pay it. So no manual adjustment necessary. We'll trigger the payment even if it fluctuates from month to month. 1 month it's 300, 1 month it's 1,000. It does not matter. You don't have to go in and make a manual adjustment. ConnectBooster is intelligent and knows to just pay the invoice that's tied to that condition. So that's how you would do autopay for, say, just Datagate invoices. Well, maybe we have other types of invoices too that the customer wants to autopay, but maybe they don't want to use their bank account. Maybe they have their monthly service platinum type agreement for managed services, and they want to pay it on a credit card. Absolutely, easy enough. You would just generate a new rule for the client, and on the drop-down list, you would pick, say, contract. And I don't believe we have one handy, but in this case, you would have the name of the agreement in ConnectWise on the drop-down, and then you would hit save. So again, any invoice coming from that condition, which in that case would be in agreement, would auto pay on its due date or any terms that you might set. So that's really the perspective from the partner and doing all that on the behalf of the client. But ideally, your customer could log in and do all of that on their own. So I would like to do a quick overview of the customer portal. So this is the perspective of what the end client would see when they log in. Of course, it would have the MSP's branding up here. They would have their logo, their colors. It would change all the header color, the text, and so forth. There might be some advertisements rotating in here, showcasing any new services or announcements. But the UI is intended to be incredibly simple. If they go in, click Make Payment, or hit Open Invoices, we're going to go to the same section. And then it's going to look pretty familiar to what I just showed you. So at that point, the client could still come in, click View, and see the Datagate copy. Or if it didn't originate from Datagate, that's okay. They'd still get the copy from wherever that invoice came from. And then from that client's perspective, they do have the auto pay option if you allow them to. And then from here, we can see my saved auto pay rule that's already set up, or the client could then make changes if needed. So I think at that point, that probably concludes the ConnectBooster point of the demonstration. I'll hand it back over to you, Greg.
Thanks, guys. That makes it look really easy. That's fantastic. So I think we need to go back. Can we pop back to the PowerPoint, Usman?
Yep, just 1 second over here.
Great. And I've got a few questions out here, so we'll give you guys some tough ones.
There we go.
Yep. Oh, fantastic. I got a question here. It says, will Datagate and ConnectBooster still integrate if they don't have ConnectWise Manage?
Thank you,
Yeah,
Greg.
Go ahead, Mark. I can answer that one too. It's up to you.
Sorry, yeah. Actually, yeah, probably more. Yeah, I mean the answer is yes, and actually I'll let you qualify that one, Colton. That's probably your
Yeah.
area.
So no CRM or PSA tool is actually necessary as long as you have an accounting system that both of us support. Absolutely, those invoices, as long as they make it to say QuickBooks or Xero, would be able to be paid through the ConnectBooster interface and still get that same benefit of seeing the Datagate copy.
Okay, great. Thank you. Another question here. We have apparently somebody on board from Canada. Does Datagate and ConnectBooster work for them in Canada?
Well, from Datagate's point of view, absolute yes, and I'll hand over to ConnectBooster to reply.
Yep. So we have existing customers in Canada today that can accept both credit card and electronic check payment. So absolutely.
Oh, great. So we've got above the border covered there. Another question here is, if you've got Datagate and you've got ConnectBooster, how long is it going to take them to get up and going and live and getting money in the door?
Right. Well, from Datagate's point of view, there's a process involving configuring the portal and getting data integrated and flowing through and checked and configuring the invoice format. It's an interactive process with Datagate and the client. Typically takes around 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. It's variable depending on how quickly information exchanges between us and our client. But that's the typical time frame. And over to ConnectBooster.
Yeah, from a ConnectBooster point of view, really the only thing that takes time is, of course, we're dealing with payments, and those payments accounts need to be set up or integrated. So on average, it takes about a week from us working with you on filling out those account documents, getting them into underwriting and getting those approved. At that point, we are ready for implementation and install. And so that's about a 2-hour call, give or take 20 minutes, where what we're doing is we're actually integrating all of the software then together. So if you have Datagate in the mix, ConnectWise Manage and QuickBooks Online, for example, we'll have all of those systems syncing into ConnectBooster, so you can accomplish exactly what you just saw today inside of the live demo. The nice thing is, of course, both companies, Datagate and ConnectBooster, I mean, the most important thing is we're here after the sale, right? But once you're done with that once you're done with that implementation call, I mean, you're ready to rock and roll and use the product, and you're going to feel confident in using the product. So that's the time frame. About a week for payments accounts, about a 2-hour implementation, and then of course all you can eat support on anything that you need, any questions that you have, or even to review best practices and drive adoption.
Okay, great. That sounds good. Another quick question here is, where do the different companies, Datagate and ConnectBooster, where does support come from?
From Datagate's point of view, we're multinational. You recognize different accents when you hear us talking. We have an office in Jacksonville, Florida, in the US. We have an office in Vancouver in British Columbia, Canada, and we also have an office in Auckland, New Zealand. So essentially, it's North American support first. We have online support, email support, phone support, and we also we service from North America and in New Zealand. And from New Zealand, that gives you the evening coverage, so it can be quite useful as well if you're working after hours. So thank you, and over to ConnectBooster.
Yeah, I can answer that one. Good question. So we have a rockstar in-house customer support team located in Fargo, North Dakota. So that's all in-house. We don't offload that or anything. But you can pick up the phone, give us a jingle, and you'll reach a real live person right away. Otherwise, you can always just email support@connectbooster.com, and that puts a ticket into our system, of course. So that is how you get a hold of us.
Hey, great. I think that question was prompted by Mark's accent, the nice Kiwi accent there. Another question here is, folks are going, this is nice, but what's it all cost? I guess Mark and Colton, you guys want to address that?
Sure. So from a Datagate point of view, our cost is based on usage. So we try to scale up and down depending on the size and amount of activity with the client. It's typically a percentage of the revenue, and it's around 2% normally for percentage of the billing revenue through Datagate. There's also a minimum charge, it can vary depending on the complexity of the situation. There's also a small charge for implementation, but it again comes down to how many systems you're integrating with and how complex the situation is. So, but generally to scale it with usage. So scale it so a small business starting off will pay a lot less than a large business that's doing a lot of processing. Thank you. Over to you, ConnectBooster.
Yeah, that's a great question, and what you'll find is our billing models are actually very, very similar, and so no complexity there in terms of what to expect. We have a billing floor of $149. We have a billing ceiling of $1,000 a month, and that's just based on volume usage coming through the system, and that's based on a 0.5% of gross sales. So again, easy, no barrier of entry to completely automate your cash, as well as automate all of your telco and service-based invoicing, and taking that through from call to cash. So
great. I have another question for you, Mark. How does Datagate get the telecom info?
Right. So we normally connect to either the provider or the PBX, and Datagate's working as an engine 24/7 all the time, collecting this usage data, or CDRs, called detailed records, from the various environments. So that's an automated process, and it's set up to operate whether it's daily or weekly or monthly or hourly, or depending on the requirement of our client.
Great. I've got another question here. So if we implement Datagate but not ConnectBooster, and then want to add on ConnectBooster down the road, will that require a rebuild to the existing setup with Datagate?
The answer to that is no. They certainly can do that, and I think it's quite a nice, easy add-on to add ConnectBooster to the configuration once it's up and running.
Okay,
so,
great.
No problem. Yeah.
Another question here. Somebody was apparently listening very close to you, Colton, on autopay. They're curious, how do you handle it when the autopay amounts vary from period to period?
Yep. So that's kind of the magic part of ConnectBooster, in that we know that any invoice that, say, originates from either a ConnectWise agreement on the back end, we associate those invoices and where they originated from So if they do fluctuate, ConnectBooster just automatically does the correct payment based on the invoice that came from the accounting system. So the accounting system is really the end all be all when it comes to the dollar amount on where an invoice is at, which of course is the problem Datagate solved, is how do you get those invoices over to your accounting system when they're really hard to bill and calculate? Well, once they make it there, because ConnectBooster is talking to all the different endpoints, your accounting, your CRM, PSA, and Datagate, we know exactly which invoice comes from where, and as long as you have it set to auto pay, yep, we're going to pay the fluctuating amount.
Great, sounds good. Well, I think that's all the questions I see online. Again, I thank everybody for showing up. We're getting done just a little bit early. Trying to go to my next screen, and it's not working. Maybe Usman, you can override and go to the final screen, please.
Yep, Greg, I think there's one more question that just
Okay. Oh, you saw it. Okay, go ahead and ask it there.
Yeah, so I think this one might be for you, Colton. Can you put a limit to the dollar amount that you're willing to auto pay?
Yes, you can. Yep, you can set thresholds in order to prevent from paying too much, I guess. But normally, most folks tend to just leave it with the default, whereas a client can define on how much they want to auto pay, so they don't, accidentally decide, oh, I paid my $3,000 invoice and I wasn't really prepared for that. I only really wanted to make sure anything under 1,000 paid. So there is an easy way to set a threshold and pay invoices under a dollar amount that either yourself or the client would be comfortable with. So
Perfect.
absolutely.
And we've got one more here. How do you invoice the customer from ConnectBooster? Right now, they are receiving invoices from Datagate. So with the invoicing of the bills is still done through Datagate. And then once from Datagate, you export the invoice out to your PSA and your accounting system. ConnectBooster will pick it up from there and sort of display it in ConnectBooster. So the invoicing itself is still done through Datagate, and then ConnectBooster would be the payment portal essentially.
Yeah, I can touch on that a little bit too. So
that's the
on the
beauty of the
ConnectBooster
integration
side,
there, right?
pardon, right?
It's kind of the beauty of the integration there. It gives you lots of choices on how you present that invoice.
Absolutely. Yeah, I did not cover that in the demo, but really what happens is as soon as that invoice hits the accounting system, you can either run a sync manually or ConnectBooster. We run synchronizations with the accounting system on an hourly basis too. So there's very, very minimal latency on that part. But what will happen is it will pull it into this ConnectBooster system. We'll see, hey, that invoice hasn't been emailed out yet. And we'll send it to, say in the instance you're a ConnectWise user, it would go to the default billing contact in ConnectWise. So we would send the copy of the invoice with the attachment from either Datagate or if it was a ConnectWise invoice. So that's how we'll actually deliver it to the client. And on that email, it has instructions on how to make a payment through the portal or through another option of our system, which is Pay Now, which allows the client to make a payment without even logging into the ConnectBooster interface. They can take a one-time payment quite easily as well. So we actually do the delivery via email. So to answer that question.
Perfect. Thank you, Colton. Greg, I'll pass it back to you from here.
Great. Yeah, I don't see any more questions. We're finishing just a few minutes early. Again, there's our contact information on the screen, info@datagate-i.com and the 904-914-4441. And you can click on sales and that normally rings through right to my phone. So with that, we're done a bit early. I really want to thank everybody for taking time out for your day. Hope you have a great one. Stay safe out there and look forward to more of these events down the road. I think we're going to be doing a lot more of these type of, hopefully very, very educational, informational sessions down the road. So again, for the whole team, for Mark, Usman, myself, Ryan, and Colton, thanks for coming.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Bye.